Welcome to the Real Estate Fight Club, a podcast for agents where you'll witness a battle of opinions about topics affecting your real estate business. Now, always in your corner, here are your hosts, Jen Mertland and Monica Weekly.
Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Fight Club. Oh my gosh. What's up, Jen Mertland? Tell me something good, because I need to hear it.
I'm not having technology problems like you.
I'm having more than just technology problems. I'm having living problems.
Oh, virtual hug.
Virtual hug. It's just been one of those weeks where you just, I did a post. I said, I feel like I've gone through a car wash without a car, you know, where you just get slammed around every which way but loose.
You know what? I always say Jesus was the first realtor. That's why he turned water into wine.
Yes, this is true. Which brokerage do you think Jesus was with?
I mean, he liked to travel. He liked to include all the people. So
he was a relationship guy.
I'm thinking
he was
Team
calling.
Monica.
That's right. Jesus is Team Monica. I'm going to post that in a hashtag. All right, guys, we're so happy to have you back listening with us today. Thank you so much for being here. Today, Jen and I are going to duke it out, and I do predict a bit of a fight on this one. Is it better to worry about increasing your sale price, or is it better to increase your unit count? Because,
I mean, there's no fight because I'm not trying to convince you. I already know the answer.
You think you know the answer.
No, I absolutely know the answer.
But before we go into that, this is a funny thing to me because I do a lot of coaching. I know you do some coaching, and I ask agents, you know, what's your goal this year? And most agents say unit count. They say a number like, you know, I want to do 40. And when I ask why, like, well, because I did 30 last year. Like, okay. What does that mean? So, you know, but I think this is a good topic for that reason. Like, we really need to dig into this. So go ahead and tell me why you think you're right.
Well, I think unit count.
Why?
Here's why. Because here's what I know. That when you do a lot of units, you can develop a process, you can develop your system, it can become more efficient. When you do less units, you're just reinventing the wheel all the time.
Okay, so if you do, let me get this straight. If you do 30 deals and make 180,000 GCI,
yeah,
and I do 10 deals and make 180,000 GCI, you're still saying that's better?
Yes.
Why again?
Because I do my job more often. I know how to do my job. I'm more efficient at my job.
No.
I see your point. But I think it also goes down to, are you like the type of person who likes kind of instant gratification? And I do. So,
hey there, you liking this video? Go ahead and hit subscribe so you get all the latest videos.
I prefer higher unit count.
I'm super surprised by your answer. Actually, I'm super surprised that we're arguing about this because you are the person that says work smarter, not harder. And unit count is harder.
It's not harder. It's easier.
So listen, let's take away the average sale price as a part of that argument, because obviously I think that's an easier argument. Let's just say why
it's
unit
just
count
easier
isn't
to do once you do a certain level. Like once you get up to like 35, 40 deals, it's like almost easier to do like 65 or 70. And then once you get to like 80, it's just like easier to do over 100.
I guess you're making the argument that the more you do equals better, because the question was which is better to look at focusing on increasing your sale price.
I guess it depends on what you think is better, means better, right?
Right. So you're measuring it against knowledge. Yes?
I'm measuring it, knowledge, efficiency.
Efficiency is doing 10 deals for 180K.
But you're reinventing the wheel every time because
Who says that? I might have systems for those 10 deals.
Well, first of all, you do more than 10 deals.
I do.
Second of all, do you remember only doing 10 deals? No. Like people, a lot of people that only do 10 deals, they like every time you're restarting, like, oh, what do I do again? What do I do again? You're just not creating efficiencies. Like, okay, if I own 2 houses that are rental houses, it's going to be much, much harder when things come up than if I own 200 rental houses. There's like efficiencies built in.
Define efficiencies for me. What does the word efficiency mean to you?
You can get things through like a process and through a system faster because you are more likely to have one.
Do you think if I only have to serve 10 families and you have to serve 30, that I'm being more efficient for the same amount of money?
No.
I think our fans, our listeners are screaming at you right now.
I don't care.
They're like, what? That's ridiculous. Wait, let me use some of your language. That's dumb.
That's dumb. Dumb. I think you guys are dumb. I don't know. I mean, I think it just depends on, it depends on a lot of things, right? But for me, an increased unit count, it just makes more sense.
Okay.
I'm confused at why it doesn't make sense to you.
Because unit count means nothing to me as a business. My efficiency comes from profitability.
Yeah, but but just because you do like 10 deals doesn't mean they're profitable.
Well, I meant like some other things besides that. I don't know many people that would say, hey, if you could make the same amount of money and do 20 deals versus 60 deals, I would do 20 deals. I just don't know many people that would pass that up.
I understand that piece, but I just don't think it happens that way.
That doesn't mean it shouldn't be the focus, because when I'm helping agents balance work life and like have, as Hank calls it, a net life, we're not talking about doing more units. For instance, we're talking about doing 36 deals and having a net life. And each year, the formula is to increase your average sale price.
So you're doing, but it's to increase the units until you get up to the base.
Well, it depends on what your base is.
Well, you're just saying 36 deals.
For that example, for Hank Avink's 36 to life. Hey, Hank.
Okay, but so I think it's like a bell curve, right? I think the unit count goes up until you get to some point, and then if you have too much unit count, there could be diminishing returns. It just depends on who you are. It depends on your process. For me, I did not reach diminishing returns on that. For some people, they might. For me, it was easier to do.
So do you have a unit count goal for 2022?
Yeah, we do it by units.
And how did you come to that unit count number?
We came to it based on like our average sale price.
Wait, what? Wait, I can't drop this mic because it's hanging from here. I think this is a good time to pause.
All right. Man. Let's take a short break. Oh, Lord. And when we come back, we will have the final punches.
Hey, guys, it's Monica here. I am so excited to introduce you to Real Estate Fight Club's newest partnership, Cyberbacker. Cyberbacker is the best in the business for virtual assistants. How do I know this? Because I am a Cyberbacker customer and I love this company. I have my favorite, Frances. She is my Cyberbacker, been with me for over a year. She's amazing. She makes me better. She's eager to help. She's on time. She's disciplined. She's awesome. And this company, Cyberbacker, has figured out the system. From the interviewing process to find out what I need, to the interviewing process to interview several Cyberbackers, to the onboarding process, to the training process, very buttoned up, very awesome. You and I both know it's time for you to leverage. It's time for you to take that step, and Cyberbacker is a really safe, awesome solution. Make sure to mention Fight Club and you will be getting a free gift. All right, do it. Make the call. See ya. Welcome back. God, do I feel good right now. I gotta tell you.
You in one.
I gotta tell you, I've had a shitty week, but it all turned around right in that last sentence right before we heard from our amazing partners. Let's get back to this battle and get some final thoughts, because if I heard you correctly, what I understood is you backed into a unit count through obviously a sales price and what you wanted to earn.
We did. However, I will agree with you on that. I did do that, obviously. But I also think that until you have a baseline, it has to be about unit count.
Well, I think if you're starting up your business, you need to do deals for sure.
Because, so in the beginning, unit count matters the most, because you can have somebody who sells $1 million house, or you can have somebody else that sells 4 houses for $1 million, for the total of $1 million. I would argue that the person that sells the more units, they have more experience in the process of being a realtor. Now, as you are in the business longer, I think it does make more sense, because you maybe are more strategic about who you're working with. But you can still count like referrals and other things as units if you want. I just think focusing on the units, the money will come. Focusing on the money doesn't always mean that the units will come.
Yeah, and in coaching though, when you're creating clarity around your goal, the very first thing we're talking about is not how many deals you want to do, is what is this business going to afford your life? Like, this business is going to fund your life. What do you need? I've had people say, Monica, I only need to do 4 deals because I want to buy my grandkids gifts at Christmas and I don't want my husband to like get on me for spending too much. Literally. Awesome. Yeah. That's it wasn't the 4 deals. It was how much money she wanted in the bank at the end of the year for Christmas.
Right.
So you're always starting with that, and then you back into it.
Oh, I don't want to say this because this is the wrong way to say it, and maybe you can. Is it a business if you're doing 4 deals?
It's not, for her it was. She had done a bunch of deals prior in her life. Like, she was tapering out,
I got you. Not ramping
She wasn't ramping up. No, she wasn't ramping up.
So I think we can agree that, it sounds like we can agree that, volume matters, because you have to have an end goal financially, right? And that's how it's in dollars. It's not in units, because not all unit is equal to the same dollar, right?
Right.
But if you are ramping up and you are running a business, unit count matters so that you can get your processes in place. And the fastest and easiest way to get your process in place is to do a lot of units. Then you switch to more strategic, which could then doesn't matter about the units as much. It's more about the volume.
I think the only way I'll agree with that statement is if one of your goals is to gain experience and to put systems in place. Because, sure, if you run more through it.
I guess I just assumed that was the
goal. I don't think that's what most people's goals are. I think it's a financial goal. A lot of people come to this business with a full-time job. So time is their precious currency. And when time is your currency, then sales volume is better than increasing your average sale price is better than increasing your units. So that's so individual, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can see what you are saying in that the more deals you do, the more experience you have, the better agent, the easier your systems are to execute, whatever. But I didn't take that question that way.
That's interesting, right?
It is. Well, you're always trying to make this place a better place.
Yes.
Our real estate industry. You are always trying to level it up.
I feel like I'm always trying to blow it up.
Yeah. Blow it up, then level it up.
Blow it up.
All right. I think that's going to have to be the end of today's battle. And what do you guys think?
What do you think our guests think?
What do you think our guest is going to think? And if you enjoyed this episode, will you do me a favor? Do Jen a favor? Share it.
Share that
with your friends. Share your shit. Share our show. We would love it so much. And be sure to check us out on our Instagram page, Real Estate Fight Club Podcast, because we make total asses of ourselves over there.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you are interested in learning how you can work with Monica and I, feel free to give me a call or a text at 513-400-1691 or hit us up on our social. All right, Monica.
This was fun, Jen.
I'm glad I can humor you and make your day better.
See you next time.
Bye. All right, we have our tiebreaker, JaVon Martin from the J. Martin Real Estate Group out of EXP in Houston, Texas. Hey, JaVon.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. You ready to be the tiebreaker today? Let's see whose team you're on.
I'll take it on, yeah.
I think normally, though, you're pretty much Team Mertland. I mean, I know you pretty well. I feel like we're in alignment on a lot of things, but we're going to find out. All right. If you want to increase your business, is it better to increase your sales price or your unit count?
A 100% unit count.
Boom. Team Mertland. Tell us why.
So I say chase the unit count, just because the way that like I've got my business set up, actually kind of started setting up with you, and the way that it's established is, if I close 2-3 deals, I'm going to get, a couple referrals off of them.
Right.
My first $1 million listing came from helping a guy buy a $30,000 lot.
Yeah. So like, that's a great point. And now that you're saying that, like one of my first, like almost $1 million ones were from somebody that bought like a really cheap rental. And if you were focusing on increasing your average price, you maybe would have turned down that person, the $30,000 lot.
Oh, 100%. As you know, I was on a team before.
Yeah.
And no one wanted to help this guy buy a $30,000 lot. And so I help him, and he calls me a couple months ago and says, "Hey, I've got my boss wants to sell his house." And I'm thinking,
Okay.
for the people who are going over the sales price, like, oh, this is going to be a cheap house, whatever.
Yeah.
And no, gated community. And
nice.
I walk in and the guy's like, "Hey, you helped so-and-so, buy a lot and get his stuff started. So I want to work with you."
Yeah.
That never would have happened.
No, it never would have happened. But what do you say? I mean, I can understand the point from people's point of view that they're like, well, if you want to make more money, you'll get paid more when you increase your sales price. But I mean, I get that. And I understand why they say that. But to me, it is still the unit count.
I mean, it's a unit count. I've had people say, well, you get better quality, or you can provide better quality by working with just one person. I'm going to call horse on that.
That's not. We have an explicit advisory, so you're allowed to say shit.
Yeah. Okay. Like if you're working too many people, then that's your problem. Like you know what your limit is there, but I can provide the same amount of service to one person as I can say 5 or 10 because of the way I've got my business set up.
Right. And the systems are set up. It's almost, in my head, it's almost easier with more people because then you're delivering the process over and over and over again.
Yeah, and that's the way that I've got, like the way that we have the system set up is, let's say you're working, sorry, I got to do math. Say you're working for home buyers or home sellers at $250, and say Johnny down the block is working his $1 million house. I'm gonna get 2 to 3 referrals off of each of those listings. So
that's a good point. And it's kind of like the same point of like why people invest in like multi-houses versus single family. Because then you have, if one unit goes vacant, or like if one of those deals doesn't close, it's not the end of the world. If Johnny Realtor's $1 million listing doesn't close.
Exactly. I've got 3 other to fall on. Yeah.
Right. Plus, I didn't even think about the referrals. That's like a really good point.
Yeah, that's a, yeah.
I wish I would have talked to you before we recorded.
Yeah, that's my big thing is, like, especially so with, just to get even a little bit narrow, like people who dog on Obsidian, some of these referral companies, oh, you know what? I'll take the couple of them, work them and get referrals off of that while you're struggling to get 1 or 2 deals. Yeah. From your sphere.
Right. So yeah, but you still do work your sphere. I mean, you work your sphere.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
just going deeper into the Y unit
versus
working with volume.
Yeah. Well, I think those are really good points. So thank you for sharing. I know that you are looking to like expand your team throughout the rest of Texas. So if people do have a referral for you or they're looking to potentially join your team, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
You can find me on Facebook or text me.
Okay. What's your number?
Oh, there we go. You probably need that. 832-463-0437.
And then on Facebook, is it just your name, JaVon Martin?
Yeah, it's just JaVon Martin.
Awesome. Thanks for being on, JaVon.
Of course, Jennifer.
See ya.